Kind of ended kind of weird. Sorry, folks. Actually, still had a good 5 to 6 seconds left on it. Don't know what happened there with it. Anyway, folks, welcome into Flying with Mike, a new week. Yep, and some of you out there are playing a little, as we called it back in the day, hooky from work because of that game yesterday. Shame on you. But anyway, hope it's worth it. So anyway, so we're here in O'Hare, Chicago, flying a little retro, as you can tell. It's been a while since we've seen the 727, so I thought, you know what? Not knowing how my day would go, instead of not streaming today, I figured I'd do at least a short hop, Chicago down to St. Louis. Now, lo and behold, well, as of yesterday at noon, we may have had some weather to deal with, but that weather hasn't materialized, so it went south. And I am not upset about it at all. So I'm kind of glad it did. That's one less headache we had to deal with yesterday at the airport. So I'm glad to hear that. All right, so as you can see, we have the FlyJSim. Oh, first off, this is XP11 for those asking. So this aircraft, as far as I've heard, is yet to been ported over to X-Plane 12. So you want to fly it, you're going to have to do it in X-Plane 11, unless you know how to manipulate things to make it work properly in 12. I don't, so it's fun bringing back the sim before, and take a look at what's a little different there versus here. Do know this? There's a lot of you guys call it ortho to help the scenery along, as well as a lot of scenery. But and I mean no disrespect to the developers who have done something for the Chicago area. I haven't found anything of uh, worthiness to purchase for the Chicago area. That and the fact I don't fly much up here. Had a lot of online VATSIM issues up here in the Chicago area. Very equal to that out on the West Coast, so I kind of avoid this area. But it is what it is. We'll see how today goes. If I see it starting to materialize, we'll come offline. All right, just so you know, we have had some issues with people with controllers out here and they're not directed at me. It's just, sometimes I wonder. So, it's just I don't want to deal with 45-minute waits on the ground to get off the ground. So, all right, so enough negative. Let's go back into the positive. So it's good aircraft here, folks. Like I said, right now we're not powered up. We're going to come completely up from cold and dark. Shouldn't take long, and we'll be up and going here. So I hope you enjoy the flight. Again, it's a short hop, as you'll see here in a moment when we do the pre-flight. From Chicago down to St. Louis. I think it's like 300 air miles. I don't know. No, that's car miles. So, you know what? I am going to cheat a little bit here, folks. And check real quick. Calling it 254 air miles, nautical miles, as we like to call them. So I know there's actually a term for air miles. So, all right, so let's quit yakking and get up in the plane, and let's see what we have here. And by the way, folks, this is something I don't know, and I hope it's not too bothersome what this little flashing thing is. It's been so long since I've been over here. I can't remember there's a way to get rid of it or not. So, hey, if you know, hit me in the chat there. I'd love to know. So here we go, up into the aircraft. All right, as talked about, this is a classic aircraft, folks. 3 crew members are needed to fly it. Your captain, first officer, and the guy that did all the work for them to look good, the flight engineer. And this plane does not do it justice. Really does not. He had a little, much like the 747's flight engineer station, his wasn't as big, but remember, there's only 3 engines. But it's not as compact as FlyJ. I've only been up in the cockpit once on a 727, and that's not what I remember. It's close. I mean, it's a good, good start, but it's not, how shall we say, hitting it on all cylinders. Plus, again, I'm going to go outside the aircraft. Bear with me. We'll come around the back side here. Realize there's a lot of stuff to when you set an airplane up like this, boy, there's a lot missing here. There could have been seats, so you can figure that flight engineer was a bit bigger than what we got. But hey, it's a 727. Last I heard, haven't heard it anywhere else but XP11. Huh, interesting, huh? All right, back into the cockpit. So as we look at it, folks, so again, your flight engineer, he's the guy in charge of making sure the fuel, the air, engines, he can monitor. There were more gauges than that, just like the 7.4. There were more gauges. Electrical, hydraulics, pneumatics, air conditioning, everything, folks. He controlled pressurization and so forth. So he also helped fine-tune the engines and stuff to, get that range out of it from all the charts and all. Freeing up the 2 up here, whoop, wrong button, to do the piloting thing. Do that pilot thing there, Mav. So, and, granted, they did not have the FMS like we're going to have. They had the INS systems, and and that in itself is a chore. So I got to get those changed. Anyway, but we're in Hotel 5, and we're going to go ahead and begin the power up, and then we'll get into the pre-flight. All right. Trying to figure, almost like, this right here out the windshield reminds me of auto gates. Almost like an auto gate was in place here. Huh, interesting. I just happened to notice that. I was doing this all, Saturday, working through some stuff on it, and never noticed that. Huh. Anyway, it's just something interesting. So, here we go. Let's get her powered up. We'll go up here first. All right. So we got a nice, okay, if you put your mouse over by the left side of your window of your monitor, you're going to get this little menu guide here from the wrench, which will tell you the reports. Now you can turn it off so your aircraft doesn't age or run into problems for the most part. There's some that's still crept up on me. Right now it says nothing to report. As I indicated, folks, I did come off work yesterday, so bar the yawns that do happen. Sorry. However, the one that looks like gears, these are all your options. Caveat, real quick, folks. If you experience crash to desktops with this aircraft, And they can come at the worst time, like you're just about to flare, bloom. What I want you to do, go into each of, there's 3 aircraft folders that will download when you purchase this. Okay, hang on a second. And that link, by the way, folks, !727 you'll see in the title. And I did that wrong, folks. I put a B in front of it. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. All right. Well, anyway, that's if that's the worst I do today. Anyway, there's your link. When you download it, again, XP11. This doesn't work in XP12 as advertised. Okay. I really haven't tried it, so that's why I don't want to say anything yay or nay on XP12, other than when I did try it, I got a bunch of data ref issues. So, like I said, if you know how to work through them, maybe it'll work for you. I don't know. But anyway, there's the link to how to get it for XP11. All right. Once you get the purchased, downloaded, what you got to do, of course, is put it over to XP11's aircraft folder. Okay. Go into each folder. In fact, I want to make sure I'm telling you this correctly now. Hang on, gotta find it. Okay, just making sure I get the right information to you. So when it go into each of those 727 folders, there's going to be 3. There's going to be a 100 version, 200 advanced, and a cargo version. Okay, go into each one of them and remove from the plugins folder in each one. So when you go in, look for the plugins folder. From the plugins folder, take out XTCAS folder. Okay? And that cures it. I don't know what's in there, and anytime you update it, go back in, get rid of that folder if crash to desktops occur. Last I've heard, they have not updated this plane since XP12 came out. So, and they have announced they are going to do a version 4. So, we're just waiting for the day for it to drop on us. It'll probably drop on us, folks, when X-Plane 13 is on the horizon. Whenever that'll be. Hopefully, they can do everything they can in this one to make it really cool. All right, so just wanted to get that out there. I know that was quite a bit said there, but that's a lot of important information. Just unticking it here, folks, to disable it does not help. So, again, go into each aircraft, look for the plugin folder, go into the plugin folder for each of those aircraft, remove the XTCAS file. That should alleviate the crash to desktops. All right, so now let's go ahead, though, down at the bottom. Let's kick the GPU on, get the air cart firing up. All right, battery switch on. External power. And we're just waiting on the air cart now. So one at a time, bring on the galley powers. All right. Like I said, now, the one thing that seems to always give me problems is the APU. And again, one thing to think about with this classic aircraft, folks, and a lot of people didn't realize this. I've actually had some people challenge me until they actually look it up. Couple of big things this aircraft was notable for. First off, obviously 3 engines. Well, they had others, but not with 3 engines. But not one that could fly like this one could, and had an onboard APU. Up until this point, you had a cart start. Get a cart like we just did, hook it up, and pump air into the airplane. Get an engine going, then you could disconnect, cross bleed, and all of that. This is the actual first aircraft with an APU. So, in that first generation thing, APUs are going to be temperamental. You would think by the time the Advance comes out, there would not be that much temperamentalness with them, and that this one's pretty temperamental and will give you problems. The other thing that known for this plane, granted, it came in when the jetways, those bridges that come out to the planes for you to walk on, inside, outside, inside comfort, you don't have to walk through the elements. They came in this. However, some of them were so close to the gates, especially for TWA and St. Louis, the Delta gates. When they bought Ozark, they had to power back. So that's extra fuel, folks. So, and a bit on the, not dangerous, but, you can't tap your brakes. You can't do a lot of things. In that situation, you have to use complete thrust. So it's thrust to go backwards, and then when you get going the speed you want and start getting them out of reverse, push them forward. Till the plane starts creeping forward, then you can hit your brakes. So, alright, so enough of all of this. Powered up, let's come up here to the overhead. Nav lights on. Logo lights on. Get our... Didn't mean that. Alright, and we'll just get some things set up here. Oh, Lord have mercy. Just getting my checklist. I knew there was something nagging in the back of my mind that I had forgotten to do, and that was to get my checklists up and ready to roll. Alright, there we go. Alright, and as you can see, we do pretty good on frame rates here. We can, with the AV tab built into the EFB. Yeah, EFBs were not a thing back then. So, little, you can turn it off, I keep it because it is something nice to have. And as you notice, there is nothing, this menu is not on here, so. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and bring Sim Toolkit in here, and we'll start this process of the pre-flight. Alright, got the sniffles and yawns. Not a good setup, folks. Alright, so here we go. Sim Toolkit. Free application if you don't have it. And we'll fly this one. And there's our route. And there's our storm, folks. This was supposed to be further north. And thank you, Lord, for putting it where you did. Hopefully those people deal with it so nobody gets hurt or killed. All right, there we go. I like getting it to where all the fixes show up. It's really a simple flight, folks. BACEN to BLOKR to RBS. Of all the approaches they've gotten rid of at St. Louis, they got rid of the Vandalia, whatever number it was up to. That was always so much fun to fly out of here. Just hit RBS, go down to Vandalia, shoot it in. But you got to do the arch now. The days of the conventional stars are just about gone, which is a shame. Really is. All right, so our tail number actually ended up with this airline, Trans something. It's American? I have no idea. You can read it, power to you. Is that Transmeridian? Huh, I'll have to look into that. But anyway, let's get in here and find out what our loadout is for today. 29,210 pounds of payload, broken down into 127, folks. We're pretty well filled up, folks, with 6,985 pounds of cargo. We'll kind of touch on this when we get ready to do the loadout. Zero fuel, come up to 130,966. We're gonna throw
dive.
Bad attitude. Welcome in, sir. Hope your day is going well. 20,192 pounds for the day. So ought to be a good flight. Again, it's BACEN, BLOKR to RBS, and then on with the Arch 2. Mach 0.80. Cost indexes were not used in this aircraft, and I think that's actually right about where it should be, 28,000 feet between Chicago and St. Louis. We flew up there, oh my gosh, would have been like 2012 to Chicago out of St. Louis on a Trash 80, I'm sorry, MD 80, and I think we hit 28,000 as our top. I think it was, might have been 26. So you don't get up very high on this route. All right, let's get to the weather part. All right, so the pressures are good. Winds are out of the west at 7. It's 44 degrees in the Windy City. And you can kind of see how the wind's attacking runway 22 left for departure. I kind of like this runway. Just unfortunately, it's a bit of a taxi to get to. Down in St. Louis, we're going to be landing on 30 left. Not, oh wait, 30 right. My bad. That is correct. Let's get turned around. Winds out of the north, a little breezy at 12, and also 44 degrees. So, you know, at least weather-wise, it's about the same in both. So, and then finally, we'll get our pre-file in. Bear with me, I'll get that going. Board the plane, and we'll get the ACARS program going, and we're about ready to roll at that point. So, keep everything as is. This makes me do this. Where are you hiding? Oh, there you are. This time. I think it moves. Operator TWA, and we are in category C, AKLP, even though I'm pretty sure the aircraft didn't have cell cal. All right, so we got the flight plan in there for TWA, flight 270. service from Chicago to St. Louis. All right, so you got a good flavor of how it's going to work. We're going to top out before Robert's VOR. Top at descent will actually be before this flag because we have a, well, actually we might be okay because I think the restriction is in the 30s. Oh, excuse me for that yawn, folks. All right, so let's pull Sim Toolkit out of here. And again, folks, if you don't have it, gotta work today. Well, good luck there with it there, Mr. Bad Attitude. We sure appreciate you, boy. I just need a weather update my 2984. That's the one thing it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. One, that you gotta physically update these individually. You can't, rely on the either a short key or, it syncing the first officer side. All right, so let's get after it here. We said in the loadout 100 and that's what I get. 127 folks. So what you do is you look for the little airplane over here, brings up your loadout sheet. All right, so we're gonna okay, so you got each one of yours, fuel, packs, cargo, is full, empty, and random. I like random till I get close. Where am I at now? So what we're looking for, there it is. So here's your pack's weight, and there's the number in parentheses. Uh-oh. Did that happen automatically? Huh. Okay, so 119, let's see if I can get her into the... There we go. All right, we'll just stick, we're just going to be that kind of airline. You show up, we'll put you in first class. Now, the other thing you can be watching is your CG down here. Okay, so we should have 127 now. Okay, and you can see where our CG sits. Now, our zero fuel is 130,966. Currently 126. So we're gonna have to put some cargo in. Now this I do manually. And I watch my CG. Okay, we're up to 129. I believe it's 1,200 pounds each tote. Each click. Okay, there we go. That's as close as we're going to get. Fuel, 20,000 pounds. Okay, so total fuel right now is 20. I am just going to use, instead of trying to manipulate this, I'm just going to look down to 20,000. Looking. Okay, we'll go 500. Okay, so there we go, folks. So the scenario on board the plane right now, 127 souls. We're close on our expected, estimated. Actually, I could body or two in, or not. Bring it up. Total fuel 20,510. Again, over what we're supposed to. It's always better to be over than under, folks. That would give us a range of approximately 770 miles and a flight level just shy of flight level 350, of which both We're not going to close. We're fine, is basically what all that says. And that loaded the plane, folks. Completely not back. I guess I can't use it anymore. Okay, whatever. All right. It's weird. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've been in X-Plane. All right, so let's get after these checklists real quick, folks. All right, so first thing we got is our logbooks aboard landing gear pins we've got accounted for. Let's do a fire warning check. Okay. Up top here we have the cargo heat and the overheat at the same time. Okay, and we'll come back through for bulbs here in a second, and we have one more fire check to do, the APU. Okay. After that, make sure your start levers are all the way down in the idle cutoff. Come back up top and start checking light bulbs. That's right, folks. And test your CVR. Basically, you just click on each one. Yeah, I know, you say, well, they're already lit. I've actually had one go off. Okay, down to the middle. You're going to find some interesting bulbs. This is just a reset, but I still check it. So I keep finding bulbs, even to this day, folks, that I never had thought there were. Second. Okay, almost done, folks. All right, now where all the bulbs really hang out. And when you purchase this thing, folks, you will figure out your own way, because you're going to find out on occasion this airplane's going to catch you off guard. I'll show you what happened to me in, well, I can already tell you. You can already tell there's a bulb out. Get those all around. Here's what happens when it comes across one. Bulb replaced. But like I said, I have had lighted bulbs. As soon as I click them, it says replaced. And yes, we had checked these, but I always, okay, and then, oh yeah, we still got more, folks. Okay, what this panel is here, folks, this is where your flaps are. What are they currently set? And you're wondering, what are these three? It's the inboard ones here. I'll show you on the plane. It's right here. See, they are extended. I believe there's partially speed, partially hydraulic. So, all right, so the light bulb check's done. All right, so here we go, down to the SIVA, or in my case, FMS. Guess what? I did not set up a flight plan for this. I wonder why. It's so easy, that's why. K, Oscar, and Delta. Kilo, Sierra, Tango, and Lima. I always put it in just because I like putting it in. 270. Right. Execute. Now, you have to put something here. I'm going to go ahead and just go to my departure arrival page. Click on departure. You can see 0 SIDS over here. So, today's departure run. Let's go back in here and look. 22 left. So, let's look for it. Yes, folks, there are a ton of runs here. I believe they still go 3 landing, 3 takeoff. The volume of traffic there is that intense. Real world. Hopefully not in the BACEN world. Okay, so we got that set up. Go F plan. So. Execute. All right, well, actually it would still put the there we go. Well, what happened there? Maybe I didn't click execute. I don't know. All right, so now we go to the next page in the flight plan. Next up is BACEN, BACEN. Next up is BLOKR, and that is spelled Bravo, Lima, Oscar, Kilo. You know, that makes sense, doesn't it, folks? And then our last fix, RBS. Bravo, Sierra. Believe it or not, folks, that's it. And we're going to 30 right, so we'll click arrivals. We'll click Arch, Roberts, 30 right, Trish, execute. Legs. Yes. Again, we're just scrolling down because there'll be another one right here. And there we go, folks. I keep it on vector. That's just something I do. When we get the FDRKO, we're going to look at this here in a second. Let's do that right now. Now that's a little concerning. What's that? That. Okay. So let me bring charts in here. It's a lot less screen obtrusive, especially when it's set up for in-flight. Okay. First off, let's get our route in here. Click import, click sim brief, and boom, there it is. If you don't have a sim brief account, folks, why? It's free. It's a good flight planning tool for you. Why not have it? And then I'm going to go ahead and center it. All right, so you kind of see what we're doing. All right, here's the arch arrival. Question was FDRKO. Not sure what the @ sign at the end indicates other than maybe for the vector. But then we're going to head to Trish, which we'll put in here in just a second. Want to have this all geared up. Now, folks, again, talking 270 miles at the most, 50 I think it was. We're talking a quick up, quick down, 48 minutes in all. All right, so let's clear this out. Okay, here's Chicago. Here's 22 left departure. Get our ATIS. Real world, 57 minutes ago was Papa. And let's see, we're looking for departures. Arriving vectors to 27 left, visual 27 right, visual 27 center. Okay. Part. Let's see. All right, because they usually have 28 right in use for departures. Yeah, see, they have 22 left, 22 right, 3 runways inbound, 2 runways outbound. Okay, departures. Here we go. All right, so departing 22 left, 28 right from November 5 intersection, 9,750 feet available. Okay, gotta find that. That gives you what you could offset for your takeoff. That'll give you more accurate, engine data and all for takeoff. All right, so overall, everything looks good. And so let me go back to flights. So we'll stay 22 left. That's a good runway. There's no departures. So it's a strictly vector to Bacon. I think usually go out a few miles to clear the funneling traffic either out or in of Midway. Then they run you from there. Or vice versa. But anyway, you're going to get cleared out for about 8 to 10 miles before they turn you on course. Now, St. Louis. We also have an ATIS. As of 59 minutes ago, Oscar is available. Real world. Now, if you haven't seen this, look up here. You will see if you're running one of these 3 platforms, most likely this will not have St. Louis on it. Maybe I'm wrong. I've heard it just sticks out west. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, if there is Kansas City Center up and they have an ATIS active for St. Louis, it'll show here and you can read it. Okay. So again, 1 hour ago, Oscar. Here's the weather here in St. Louis. Not bad at all. Temperature 7 degrees. So icing, not a huge factor. Visual approach 30 right. Departing 29. The middle runway 30 left, 12 right is closed. They are completely rebuilding it, folks. So I guess it's that time. It had to be done. Better, they're strengthening it for some super secret project. I don't know. Hopefully they're not getting rid of it, because that's their 12,000 foot run. I think it was. So anyway, so there we have St. Louis. So we now know definitely we can land on 0 right, and they're calling for a visual approach. Of course, we'll line up on ILS. Okay, so we'll clear out of this. come down here to approach. Now for 30, we have an RNAV. Why it didn't pull up the ILS? That's weird. So we can either go from Trish out here or the RNAV. Let's be somewhat true to the plane, even though I know it's the arch. Hang on a second, let's look at the arch roll. Okay, it's available for everything, so you're not restricted to just the RNAV approaches. Okay, we're going to go to Trish. And there it goes. See how it changed it to now funnel us to Trish. And we go out to Troy for the... and this, by the way, folks, is your missed approach out to Troy VOR. All right, we'll get more into this once we're airborne. Okay, back out of here just a tad. All right, so there you go. We've got it set up now for 22 left, 30 right via the arch to arrival. All right, which, by the way, we have set up over here. I am going to keep the vector going here because we could come in at Hixom, cut off a couple miles, get in quick. All right. Now, next thing here, let's go back to here. Let's go to VNAV. 18,000 is good. Our cruise is shown. Well, that was weird. Why were the boxes? This has been acting kind of weird here. Been a while since we've flown it, like I said, so. Okay, it's still showing. Look at that, folks. Top of descent's only 146 miles away from where we're at. We're not even in the air yet. I like doing that just to see. And I'll keep it there for now. All right, so there we go. Moving on. Now we pick up the pace. All right, so with that, we're going to get the passenger signs on. We can say, go ahead, starboard. Okay. These are set. Okay. Down. I always hit them again. After we're pushed, okay. Over to here. Right, hydraulic pumps are set. Pumps are right here, by the way, folks. They are currently set. The cooler is set to normal. Gasper valve. Let's get up top here. Whoop. Set for 29. Oh, what is St. Louis? St. Louis, what up? At 617. Okay, we're all set. Hydraulic up here. IP auto brake takeoff warning. Here it comes. Okay. And finally our nav comms. Alright, so we got 122.8 here, 121.5 there. Perfect. Frequencies coming out of... It's like... I need to get rid of charts. Signing into the ACARS program here, Virtual American. Flying one of their retro TWA flights. Okay, since we're just starting it, hang on. Bear with me a second, it's updating the Pegasus program. Alright, let's go ahead and start the flight. Alright. Frequency wise, we need kind of would help to have a route in here. So that's 113. Eight, two, Roberts is 16. All right, and then finally, let's go ahead and put it in there. Okay, so what we've got set up here, just to give you. All right, so we've got Unicom for BACEN, emergency channel. We're using this nav for Chicago, O'Hare. That's the actual O'Hare VOR. This is Northbrook VOR. Okay. Now, once we get going, we're only going to use this slight tracking just so we know where O'Hare is if we have to come back. 16.8 is Roberts VOR, which we're tracking to, but we're going to intercept a radial at BACEN 189. All right, so let's come up a little. Alright, and then we're on the 2-2, so we'll just kind of put it right about there. Got our altimeters all set. Alright, so we got that part. Parking brakes on, elevator, rudder trim, 0 fuel weight, takeoff weight, EPRs. Okay, final menu run. Put this way up. Alright, so we're right now current config for 20 on the flaps. Stape trim 5.3, dump fuel time 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Gonna need an ER of 2.21, and our N1 should be about 97.4 on takeoff. So, click set bugs, which you didn't see that, but all the bugs lined up so that V1 is 122. Tate is 122. Climb our over a 50-foot obstacle at V2, 134. Then they're set to 144, 64, 90, and all the way up to 200. And then we'll do the same for landing. All right, so flight deck doors closed. Stable trim we'll worry about after we set the push, and clean up altitude should be clean by 3,000. All right, let's do it, folks. I know you've been waiting for this. There's been a little bit too much jibber jabber again on my part. My apologies. Jetway's away. Let's get the uh, air stair in the back up. It's Shift F1. All right, and here we go. It says cautiously. All right, APU. Coming on. And you can see it's starting to spool up. Now, I told you all of this early, and I know a few of you out here have been on with the 727. I'm going to ask a question to see how many of you are familiar with this plane. So many want it, familiar with it. Where's the APU on this aircraft? I could already heard someone to say tail. Oh wait, there's an engine, or that is correct. There's an S duct for the tail. Intake is here. Engine sits about right here with the X. Figure that there. Okay, so that rules out the tail. So now where is it? And I didn't know this the first time either, folks. When I actually was right up against the plane learning it, I didn't know. Let's see if this will help give it away. Right there, folks. It's in the right wheel well. See the plume right there. Tell me where else they'd have put it. Okay, so it's up and running. All right, now technically here at O'Hare we have plenty of room for a pushback. Let's do a power back. Beacon on. All right, engine start. Now there is a checklist you could go through here, folks. Tells you how to start it up. Just closed it, my bad. Arrows will take you to it, and this is customizable to what you want on it. So engine start, you need the beacon, the galley power off, and the packs off. And make sure you get at least over the 30 PSI mark. Did. Okay, to start it tells you real quickly. We're going to start engine 3, then 1, then 2. Yeah, better do it this way. Now, unlike the 747-200, you just click it. Over here, look for your start valve. And as soon as you get 20 PSI on number 3, 3, which we have. Click it and it's to idle. When the light goes out, folks, know the bulb didn't burn out. Pressure is up. I wait for it to fully stabilize. And I'll reach up here. Start up. Look over. I see the start valve open. And 1. See how it says get it to 20? There's 20%. Come down here. Okay, we'll come back to this in a minute. Getting ready to rush it. I'm glad I did. Okay, so it looks like we're stabilized. Comes the middle engine. Number 2. Start this open. Pressure's coming up. There's 20 right there, folks, where the arrows point. Three good starts, it looks like. Like all planes, do not rush the APU. Need that generator just a little longer. And number 2 has stabilized. Get on the generators here first. Okay, everything's looking good. Now you can come off the and I'll get the cabin so they can, and then make sure you go up to the generators. Pick one. You got 3. Pick one. Get the galley power on. Again, one at a time. As well as the packs can come on now. And these stay on. Everything looks good. Doors closed. We can now turn on the cargo. Alright. Now let's get back to the checklist. We'll pull it back up here. Okay, so anti-ice pitot heat. Let's get up here. Go ahead and run with engines. Okay. Pitot heat. Flight instruments are set. Flight controls. Alright. You heard me talk about this on the 747. I really like that gauge. I don't dislike this one all that much, but at the same time, I really don't like it much. I'll explain here in a second as soon as I forgot to turn on my lamps on. Good thing is you can tell it's forgiving and it's running. Hydraulics are all on, pumps are all on. Probe heat, anti-ice, and now we're to the flight controls, okay. Here's your flight controls. So you have rudder and elevator, no aileron. I don't like that. That's what I don't like. The 7.4 has the aileron. So when I kick it to the left and to the right, the only movement you're seeing is because the columns move up and down, but you're not seeing any indication of the ailerons. Here's the elevator. and here's the rudder. Now, one little tip I have. You do the rudder check, okay? Without looking here, okay? You can tell if your rudders are, or if your hydraulic, both systems are on. Which one's turned off will not move. Upper rudder, lower. So if you look at the rudder here, see that split right through the A here? That's actually two separate rudders, if you will. They all work together, but it just helps to make that big surface move. But again, if you don't see both arrows here moving, look over here. One of these is probably lit up, and then all you do is come over here, and whichever one's got the lights on, turn them on. Okay? Alright, so flaps. Flight controls are good, flaps 20. By the way, you do not have a co-pilot to tell you that, so you gotta have to look. Here's flaps 20. Alright, one thing I do like about this setup for the 727 versus Fearless. Now again, we're talking two different companies here, folks, so that's why things may be better on, grass may be greener over there and browner here, but then on the flaps on FJS, I like their gauge and their method better, but they may be true to the 747. That being, you get to flaps 1, you can actually tell they're not up. Quick glance in the 747 and you will swear you're in flaps 0, and lo and behold, you're actually in flaps 0. So, alright. Again, enough said. Speed breaks down, flaps set. Now, trim can be set real easy here, folks. Yes, you can trim it or click the control. Okay, galley power's on. Right here. Electrical is set and we're on generators. Okay. Fuel heat, we're not going to worry about. Hydraulic pressures and all are good. APU's off. Pressure set to current altitude. Flight switch. We're going to keep it ground, which is right here. This is your flight. Hang on a second. They got a word for it over here. Okay, I may have to go to heat up. Your flight ground Venturi switch, which is basically right here. You want to keep it in ground. I do until I hit the runway, and then I'll flip it over to flight. Okay, so again, ignition, pitot heat, start lever. Guys, yaw dampers checked. Flight controls checked. Flap set. Speed brakes all set. Stabilizer set. All right, here we go, folks. Let's power back. Last quick look. For a short flight, it sure seems like a long video, doesn't it, folks? Alright, so what they would have done more than likely here, I think, turned and then spun around and went up the other side. Oh, I never noticed that ARF truck. Huh, there's an ARF truck, 8x8 over there. Huh, interesting. Sorry, folks. Firefighter and me had to look at the nice yellow shiny thing over there. Brakes off. Reverse thrust. And another way to tell if you haven't figured out you don't have both your hydraulics on, it won't let you turn one direction. Oh no, I'm Okay, and now you would be cleared to taxi. What I forgot to do, folks, I forgot to come. Hey, 2201. I like that one. Oh, ha! Another thing. Noticed where I went quick for the transponder, folks. Radio stack, right? Wrong. It's actually upstairs above you. Alright, let's get going. Taxi lights on. And it's not unheard of, folks, that they would use the inboards. It's a nice yellow shiny thing. Little 8x8. Skywax80, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. We sure appreciate you coming in, being a part here. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and set our radar altimeter here. Now, I will be honest, folks, here. I do not know taxi patterns here. So I am just going to hang a left here. Basically, the reason I say it's preferred, I'm sure, American to go off 28 right, or 28, yeah, 28 right. It's like right in this area where November 5 is. So, real quick taxi for you. Relatively. Another crash fire unit right there. I'm gonna have to look and see if I purchased an O'Hare scenery. Now, got me kind of curious. But again, we have not been on XP11 in quite a while, so I know I have a Myrtle Beach in here, but others, St. Louis is in here. I think I put Philadelphia in. Alright, looks like if I go here, actually I'd go with the next one. Now, a little research I did on flight, Chicago and TWA. I didn't realize the presence TWA may have had here in the O'Hare area. Granted, obviously American purchased it. Brought them out of no. They bought them a bankrupt airline. And, yeah, it's just amazing to learn some of the stuff TWA had. I thought St. Louis was one of their bigger hubs. I know Kansas City was their maintenance hub. One of, LA was another. But supposedly they had a big presence in O'Hare in the Terminal 3 area. So, lots of neat stuff. When you take the flight sim to the next level and say you're flying, like I'll fly overseas, let's go see what's in this city. And I look at it on Google. It's kind of neat to use it for history. So, and I do not have orthos, so don't ask. I wouldn't even know how to install one and get them lined up properly in the whatever the equivalent to a scenery config file is in Exploit. From my FSX days. But yes, we have the 727 taxiing, much to the chagrin of somebody, and love flying it when I can. I've got a really, one thing about O'Hare and St. Louis that a lot of people don't like is the fact that they in-gate de-ice. Now, what does that mean to you, passenger? Well, to you, it just means potential delays, especially at a place like O'Hare. That doesn't give you pause. Look at the amount of winter vehicles they have, and I'm sure that doesn't even do justice to it. Folks, you know, they're known for snow, they're known for cold. This should be a de-ice pad if it isn't already. I hope it is. Because if they're de-icing in gate, you have 30 minutes from the time they started get to the run and take off. Otherwise, you got to come back and do it again. That's why a lot of airports like Philly, Philly is really known for that. Having a de-ice pit and all out there by the runway so you can de-ice and hit it and go. So you have the 30-minute wait. You don't have to worry about it. All right, enough chit chat again. We're at the runway. All right, so we're cleared for takeoff. Anti-skids, flight attendants advised, transponders on, TCAS, we're not running. All right, let's get that to do something with. Dang it, I did it again, folks. Up here, flying with Mike. Strobes, wing lights. Ready. Okay, recheck takeoff. O'Hare traffic, TWA 270, departing 22 left. What is WPG Center? Is that Winnipeg? It is. Huh. It's curious. I'm looking at X Pilot, and it's got WPG Center. Let's find out what is the. I'll be doggone, it is. It's Winnipeg. Oh, we show a little precip now in here. I'm going to go ahead. Well, we're not here, so we'll get airborne and let's go. All right, TCAS CCD Euler. Remember where that is, folks? It's down here on your lower panel. And up top, go to Auto. Oh my gosh, we're in the inner marker for one of the runways. Alright, I say lights are on, flaps are set, go. Airspeed's alive, both sides.
80 knots. B1, rotate.
Positive brake gears coming up. Now, the interesting thing about Chicago, at least to me, is when I drove a truck many years ago, right about where we're at was a factory, or not a steel processing place that I used to go to, and they'd fly right over. It was so cool. They had to yell at me to get me to move my truck because I'd be out watching. Of course, they'd be coming the other way. But anyway, it was fun. We go ahead and kick on the autopilot. And first off, we had speed. Nice. Okay, notch up. Altitude select on. I never find the click spot. Really drifted that bad. Wow. Folks, let me... Alright, there we go. And now we'll go direct bacon. How's that sound? Direct bacon. Enter, and then I'm going to set this to... Yeah, I know, GPS, that switch wouldn't have been in there. There, we should start the turn. Flaps are up, and I didn't even bring the packs down, so. Alright, after takeoff, ignition, smoking, lights stay on, landing gear flaps are up, auto pack back to cutout, and fuel set, CCD norm, and these are cycling, so this is being done automatically. And away we go, folks, headed for, guessed it, the Gateway City. Okay, now if you were to run SIVA in this, the auxiliary nav is the same switch as it is being used for correcting you the FMC, so you would go to that. Quick, you know, before I do this, the charts that I'm using, this is one of them. This is where I am right now. And to climb out, oh, I need to get in climb power or we're going to burn. 11,000, lights off. Inboards can stay on, folks. Stay down. Rest come off. Okay. Now we just need to lower. Let's go to critical speed. And then we use this power setting to get us to climb up to 280 knots. I'll show you this all in a second. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so there's your before takeoff. Here you go. So takeoff, after takeoff, seat bug switch after we level up. Well, actually, we're going to get it here real soon. Anti-ice closed, gears up and off, flaps up, lights. Auto pack trip is back to cutout. Pressure, we can actually start closing valves up there. Here's the takeoff notes. Takeoff is 97% N1. It's right here. I'm sorry, right here. That's EPU. Sorry, N1. Flaps are up by 200. At 10,000, we go to 280. As soon as we reach that, we'll switch it back into IAS. And 92% are N1, which is what we got set. So you know that. And then above 29,000, we hold at Mach 7.8. Okay, we're just about there. And there's 280. Go to IAS hold. That's as much of an auto throttle you have, and it is not an auto throttle. All it is pitch. It's using the pitch of the aircraft to maintain this. So it's not, it's, we hit 28,000, it will not hold 280 knots. Just so you know. Alright, so we're through 16. Alright, continuing real quick, let's go back here. So the pressurization system, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to bring the cooling doors to about half. Actually, okay. Then the closer we get to top, turn it up. Okay. Then when we hit descent, we'll set all of this up. So there we go. Alright folks, hope you're enjoying a fun little shot crossed from Chicago to O'Hare. And again, folks, if you like what you're seeing, let me first introduce myself. Flying with Mike here. I actually live in the St. Louis area, so very familiar with one of my all-time favorite airlines, TWA. Never worked for them directly. I worked for a company kind of associated with them, and so forth. And that was only a few months at minimum wage. Just really couldn't, just couldn't do it. Okay, we need to get our altimeters set to 2992. I have been flying the sims for a variety, all the way back. I think it was FlyJSim 2000, but it might have been 98 where I started. I call it full-time simming, but I'm not full-time at it, folks. But I've been flying it ever since and going with all of the iterations. So from either 98 or 2000, so we're talking like 1998, 99 time frame, all the way up to FSX with Microsoft. I'm actually one of the few, once I upgraded my computer, I really liked FSX. I'm sorry, it was really a good program. Still, hands down, the best sim ever put out by Microsoft was a Century of Flight. Sorry guys, and the other sim. Century of Flight was still better. Yeah, it's 32-bit. You can go down the list. Still, hands down, better. However, with FSX, I wanted to bolt and leave Microsoft for reasons and the treatment the company was doing to employees. I just couldn't fathom supporting them anymore. by flying their sims. So, actually, at happenstance, an opportunity opened up. My computer that was now running FSX very nice, or yeah, FSX very nicely, I mean, I could fly it in the heaviest of traffic, in the worst of weather, hardly see a frame rate drop. Maxed out completely, loved it. Unbeknownst to me, when I set up the computer, I killed myself in the memory section. Not memory cards, it's the hard drive. So I actually ran it out of memory and it wouldn't start. Never, ever have I done that. Or seen it. And lo and behold, this guy did it. Well, I needed, obviously, a new computer. And I got a great computer here from X-Force. I love it. 3 years, almost 4 years ago. And at the same time, a friend of mine, a moderator here, Hawker125, kept pushing and pushing and pushing for years for me to switch over to X-Plane. I did with that purchase. And I'll be telling you, I'm happy I did. I had tried it earlier, way back when FSX wasn't nice to most people. And the Microsoft thing happened. We're not going to go into that. You want to find out, it's all documented. They did to the employees. And back then, I didn't like the look of the aircraft. They looked, pardon my French here, Austin, toyish. Very toyish. And that's what kept me away, and really would have kept me away until I tried 11. And I loved it. I haven't left since. At the same time, again, same person, Hawker125, kept pushing me to stream, to teach people what I know. And I kind of told him, but he's going to listen. 3.5 years later, I'm shocked and so grateful. There's actually, well, they want to listen to me. What? And lo and behold, we've been streaming now. And I'm so thankful for you all to prove me wrong, but importantly that you are willing to sit and listen to this old guy tell stories. So thank you. That's me. So I've been doing this for 20 years. Now let's give you a little bit more background as we're getting ready to top off here at 28,000. I do have a private pilot's license. However, other than last summer, the summer of 2023, I haven't flown a real plane since 1985. I gave up on my dream, not realizing I gave up my dream, and wished I hadn't, but I didn't. But you know what? That door closed. You know, it's the famous saying, the good Lord will close a door on you and open a blessed door. I can't tell you how blessed I am with the door he opened up. So, really, folks, the Lord will close the door sometimes. You may not understand it, but get ready. He's about to knock your socks off. So, and still kind of want to get back in the air. Folks, there was nothing like flying to me. All right, real quick into that story. We just topped off, and you can see the airspeed's climbing and not holding where the bug is. I told you there's no auto throttle. You're the auto throttle. So we're leveled off. We've got a little ways to go before top of descent. So anyway, I now work at an airport here in the St. Louis area, St. Louis Mid-America Airport. It happens to be co-located with Scott Air Force Base. Some of you will know that airport. Either by flying through it, a station there like I was, and Mid-America you would have flown through. So anyway, so that's a little bit about me, and I thank you so much for flying with us. Kind of hoping to put a second flight to this, but I do have Monday nights are not a good night for me to fly. We do have what we call gospel community at our church that we attend, and so yeah, we'll have that to go to. So I'll judge timing and all if we can do another. All right, so we're headed to JARC. Let me get this up here real quick so we can talk through it rapid style. Here's charts. First off, let me get this up, click progress. 59 miles out. Top of descent. Real quick, here's the arch. Sorry, folks. Okay, so we're going JARC. That's at 28,000 feet, so we're cool to that one. Then Basco. Driving me nuts. Anyway, Gordo, Wild BL, Honk is below 31,000. We'll be in our descent by then. Above 11 by arch, 280 knots. Down to Kira. I'm sorry, correction, to Petty. Then we're off to Escott, Eads, Oshie, FDRKO. Then we set up for the arrival. Okay, we've got all of this programmed, so we're good to go. Speeds. Real quick here. Okay, I told you we're going to be bringing this neat little device out again. This way. Yeah, much better. Okay, I zoom. Ooh, we're getting slow. Now, this bug is just that, to tell you approximately where 300 knots is, so you don't go past it. Right, so our VREF current setup is 130 knots. I don't like that it doesn't say how much runway we need. Click Set Bugs. See them right here, right here, right here. It'll put them into position for the approach. Okay, so there's 130. 142, and again, it doesn't break them down, so nor does it tell you anything real, but it does give you the temperature at altitude, airfield elevation, the altimeter, and so forth. Speaking of ATIS, again, 56 minutes old. Still looking at a visual approach for 30 right used, Harding 29, and the altimeter now 29 or 81. And the winds are a bit brisk out of the north at 15 knots. So, alright. Bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and move this chart up, and where I like to put it for coming in. Now get rid of it. Alright, we're getting very close to top of descent, 39 miles out. How do I know that? It says so. Okay. Okay, so for the descent, we got our minimums. Today we're flying 30 right. Minimums are 200 AGL, 805 feet above sea level, 18 for an RVR, or a half-mile visibility. Coming into Trish, to Hicksum, to Exhale, Riley, frequencies 113, 111.3. Trish at or above 5,000. And by relay, 2,100 feet. So, all right, so we're going to get some things set up here. Let's get over to Robinson. Okay. Now, with us in GPS mode, folks, we can't really do much here, but we can set up our ILS, and that was 130. Now, another thing we could do, I don't recommend this, folks, when the charts are set up for RNAV. You need to fly the RNAV, but Vandalia is right about where Orange is. So you make that call. Now let's look outside here. And we're going to set up the outside. All right, now let's look outside. All right, if you haven't noticed it, you see the clouds. They're not as volumetric. They're not bad, actually. That's quite level. And I know I'd probably get a Gibbs smack out of Austin for saying that. But Austin Myers, the maker of XP11. But to me, they really aren't bad. All right, we're 18 miles out. Let's set it up. All right, so our descent is to 11,000. Have to be at or above 11,000 at each. Okay. And at 280. Okay. It's real simply. Dial up a little. Let's see how that sets us up. Wanting about a 2,300 foot a minute descent. A little too steep. Of course, we're also watching airspeed. Get our little handy dandy. Okay, seatbelts, anti-ice, landing lights, altimeters at 18,000, radar altimeter. Let's go ahead, set for 200. Hydraulic pressure and cooling doors will be setting as we come down. Folks, this is just a pretty much up and down flight. Just like if we won't go from St. Louis to Kansas City, up and down. Indianapolis would be the same way. And if we're going to stay on this little bandwagon down to Memphis, which by the way is our alternate. Something here when we come out of the break. Some kind of something. All right. Oh, getting way fast. Speed brakes. Okay. That is 280. The other, okay, so you guys, I think, are back. Welcome back, Everett. Alright, we're slowing to 280 to cross honk here. Got the speed brakes out to get us back under control here. Gonna bring in charts. I want to show another little interesting feature that I'm beginning to start to use. Alright, I can view my sim brief flight plan. Now this is in the United 18, I think it is. Getting slow. And the fact that we're slow doesn't affect me at all. What I was getting ready to say is one thing I'm not keen on with this airplane. The speed bug holds to the Mach, not to the IAS. That I don't like. Probably the same way in the root lane, but I just don't like it. Okay, so here's my actual flight plan, folks. This looks like American. It is. Metal. Interesting. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, as you can tell. Oh, yes I am. Disregard. I'm thinking I'm flying for Piedmont. No, I'm flying for American. This is the format they like. Okay, we're about to cross honk. We're coming up to 18,298. Okay, they're set. All right. So, this is our flight plan. This is our route to the alternate into Memphis. Here's our release, and here's our fuel expectations. So, in case you didn't know that, you have charts. Yeah, it's something worth looking into, folks. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I just wanted to see that. Okay, so we're coming up on Vandalia Arch. Those of you that remember the old Vandalia approach. All right, folks, here we go. We're about to come into Vandalia, honk, and all right, a little easier to read here. Okay, so we're definitely below 31,000. We got 14 miles to make it to got a little fast there at the end. We'll let her slow up. And then we'll run pretty much most of the way to Petty at 11,000. Did I have to be at 11,000? No, but I had to be at 10,000 by Escott. All right. So, and guess what? I did not set altitude select. Okay, so about a few miles out of Petty, we'll start our descent to 9,000. All right, we're set to go. Okay, we got about 17 miles. Just to show off the frame rate. Okay, so we started our descent. Let's get up here, get these pack doors. Alright, packs are on, start switches. Alright, so we're pretty well set. Okay, I'm going to begin our descent to 9,000. descending now, folks, to 9,000. Flight attendants prepare for landing. Okay, we're about to come. Scott, I'm going to set us up for 7,000. Always make sure to click altitude select, folks, or you're going to do like I did, blow through your altitude. Now we just bring it down. See. Alright, we're just working our way into the St. Louis traffic. She is next, 250. At between 8 and 7, we're at 7,000 right now. And FedPro at 6,000.
bed dropped to 5,000. All right, we're going to go for 3,500 feet, intercept at exhale, and proceed inbound. By the way, St. Louis, Missouri, right out here. We're going to go ahead and start setting up for the approach. Okay, I got a glide slope. There we go. Okay, gears down, flaps now, 25. wind out of the north. It's kind of much how this is kind of vicious. Runway in sight.
1,000.
St. Louis traffic, TWA 270, approximately 4 mile final, 30 right.
Right slow. Right slow. Right slow. Right slow. Right slow. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Welcome to St. Louis, folks. And St. Louis ground, TWA 730, off runway 30 right to Charlie 8. Roger to Charlie 8, TWA 270. Yeah, the scenery is looking. Okay, let's transponder to standby. Alright, yeah, the scenery is, something's wrong with it here. Okay, after landing, pitot heat off. Anti-ice off. Radar transponder off, speed brake. Down. Galley power, I could have turned out. Yeah, something's really messed up here with the scenery. I'll have to tinker with it. Again, I don't fly a lot with this one. Yeah, it's like both sceneries it didn't take. Alright, welcome into St. Louis, finishing it up. APU is coming on. Parking brakes at start, levers set, seatbelts, we'll keep going. Kind of curious if this is even which one's gonna. Uh-oh, have a problem with. Okay, we're in. Beacons off now. let's get on external power. Okay, there we go, folks. Welcome in. Everything's set. It's on. It's off. All right. Okay, we're just doing a quick check here with American to see how we did. It's a 47-minute flight. All right, landed at 355. I think it's because we bounced. Just recorded the second one. All right, so there you have it, folks. We're into St. Louis. See why this scenery looks so screwy. That is the old scenery mixing with the new. So, not really sure what happened. Well, hence why you see C10, C10, C6, C8, so forth. And then you should see the Metro link go across over there, but I think it's so messed up that I'm going to have to re-download it and install it. Oh well. But anyway, welcome in, folks. I hope you enjoyed the flight. It actually was pretty cool. And I am not going to be able to fly that second flight. So let's get rid of some things here. There it is. Alright, so we'll just do that. Alrighty. This thing's so much easier. Alright, let's get Sim Toolkit in here. Sorry, folks. Gotta get a couple things updated. Let's see. First off, 330 feet a minute, and it's been logged. Let's take a look at it here. Here's how we flew it. Usually the routing is over pretty close to CPS here and then in, but hey, not bad. Alright, so let's get some details. Hour and 7-minute flight, 224 miles. Burned 3.5 kilos, metric kilos of fuel. 1.4 Gs, had to wake them up to make their connections, and 330 feet a minute. Not bad, folks, not bad at all. So, anyway, there you have it, folks. What a fun time it was. And yes, we are going to do. As soon as I make sure you're offline. Get that gate away from us. There it is. get this set up here for you folks.
10, 150, right slow. 300, 400, 500. 1,000.
Alright, let's get some music going here.
1,000.
Gotta have a little bit of that JT8 wine. Me, not a bad flight. Not a bad landing indeed. You know, it's always fun when you get into a flight sim. You never realize the slope that's at some of these airports. Alright folks, welcome back. Let's take a look out the nose. Like I was saying while we were in the break, you never realize just what kind of sloping some of these airports have. Until you see it sometimes exaggerated in a sim. Really, really great flight. Let's see how the tower looked. Well, we're not going to see from there. Alright folks, well that's gonna be a wrap. Like I said, I knew today I wouldn't have all the time I usually have. So with the gospel community about an hour or so ahead of us. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who came out, who was part of Flying with Mike, especially Skywax 80. Welcome in. It's Retro Monday. We got TWA on the line taxiing in. Yeah, to a messed up scenery. I don't know what happened to it. The Star, I think it's Star Sim, does a great job, but I don't know what's wrong with it here. So we'll try to get that corrected. However, you all have some time and can join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we land I know, I should have been more prepared for that. Tomorrow's flight, we're going to be out of Memphis again. However, not with Northwest in an A330 or A320, but with the Airbus 11. I mean MD-11. And you get my reference to it here. If you pay attention to the panels, you're going to see, if you know how to fly an Airbus, you know how to fly the MD-11 for rotate. We're going to head over to Boise, Idaho. So tomorrow is a rotate MD-11 / Airbus 11 day. So hope you all have a great night. Hope you had a great weekend. Also tomorrow, Fat Tuesday, Catholics, because Wednesday, not only, gentlemen, is Valentine's Day for your special love. It's Ash Wednesday on top of it. So, folks, begin the Lent season with a mind set to God, and hopefully you come closer to God this year, your true Maker, Savior, and Redeemer. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow on the line at Memphis. God bless you all. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, SkyMax80, thanks for the follow. Bad Attitude, I know you came in. Thank you for coming in and joining us as well. Let me just check a couple things here. Where is it? Oh, let's do that. And for the rest of you, thank you so much. We'll look for someone to stream over to real quick while we got you. We actually have quite a bit of people out there, so I think Megabitic is gonna get us. So we'll get the music fired up, get this headed in, and we'll call it a day. God bless you all. Thank you again for taking time out to be with Flying with Mike, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hawker coming in at the end there. I see you there, Hawker. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Yeah, Hawker coming in. No problem, Hawker. Better late than never, but we appreciate you. Folks, real quick before I send us over to Bidig, Megabidig, check out Hawker. I'm going to give you his Twitch. When he's online, give him a follow, or just head over, give him a follow. He sure would appreciate it. Little background on the man, besides the one that got me into this, got it there in the chat room. He actually is working on building a home sim out of a future, or out of a Hawker 125-400. Maybe one day we'll get to see a stream of it. So head over, give him a follow, and check him out when he comes on. So folks, I know, as always, this stream goes long in talk, but now is the time for it to end. So God bless you all. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, folks, forgive for the scenery mess up here. I'll have to figure that out. We'll see you tomorrow.